Twin explosions rocked Kabul Airport just hours ago, killing at least 60 civilians and 12 U.S. service members. Back in the Philippines, officials want to shift strategies from regional community quarantines to more granular lockdowns as COVID-19 infections continue to rise. Bugbog na kami. That's what PhilHealth Chief Dante Gierran had to say during yesterday's House hearing on the state insurers' unpaid claims. PDP-Laban insists they're still pushing for the Go-Duterte tandem in next year's polls, despite speculations that Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte is the real standard bearer. People's champ Manny Pacquiao is hinting at a possible rematch against Ugas. And two Filipinos are set to see action today in the Tokyo Paralympic Games. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. I'm Charles Lejano. We begin today's newscast with the twin explosions that rocked Kabul Airport, killed dozens of civilians and at least 12 U.S. service members. The exact death toll has yet to be confirmed, but the Associated Press reports that at least 60 Afghans have been killed. The Islamic State, or ISIS, has claimed responsibility for the attacks, as one of the blasts took place at the airport's entrance at Abbey Gate, while the second explosion happened at Baron Hotel, where many people, both Afghans and foreigners alike, were told to gather before heading to the airport for evacuation. U.S. President Joe Biden vowed to continue their evacuation efforts and to hunt down those responsible for the attacks.
I know this. We have a continuing obligation, a sacred obligation to all of you, the families of those heroes. That obligation is not temporary, it lasts forever. The lives we lost today were lives given in the service of liberty, the service of security, the service of others, in the service of America. Like their fellow brothers and sisters in arms who died defending our vision and our values in the struggle against terrorism, of the fall on this day, they're part of a great and noble company of American heroes. To those who carried out this attack, as well as anyone who wishes America harm, know this: we will not forgive. We will not forget. We will hunt you down and make you pay.
Back here on the home front, COVID infections are still on the rise, but authorities now want to shift strategies as they seek to veer away from regional lockdowns to more granular restrictions. Mobile journalist Jacob Lazaro gives us a front seat to the story.
In the aftermath of the 2 weeks lockdown, the numbers continue to reach new highs. This week, the country had the highest number of new COVID cases for the whole country at 18,332. But the health department says expect the numbers to climb even further. In the past week, new cases in the country spiked by 20%, from a 12,000 average in the second week of August to 15 to 16,000 cases. Authorities are hoping that the numbers will stabilize in a week or two.
Pero tayo ay nagsimula kasi ngayon ng around an average of 5,000 cases per day. And we will really see, as we haven't yet felt the full effect of our ECQ.
The government is shifting strategies to contain the virus, while at the same time letting the economy breathe. Interior Undersecretary Ipamako Dancing said they will now be enforcing granular lockdowns. This means locking down specific barangays, subdivisions, puroks, and even streets where an infection is raging instead of whole regions or provinces. Authorities will go house to house to conduct mass testing and contact tracing.
Pag nilockdown mo ang isang subdivision, ang isang kanto, ang mga ilang bahay, talagang hindi mo papayagang lumabas ang mga tao dun sa area yon.
According to MMDA Chairman Ben-Hur Abalos, there are already 3,600 places on granular lockdown in Metro Manila. But the granular lockdown also bring their own set of challenges.
The LGUs must provide at least for the meals. No? Baka bandang huli, magsawa na mag-lockdown dito dahil wala sa pambigay ng ano.
Abalos said they would need the help of the national government. The national government intends to renew the contracts of some 7,000 contact tracers in NCR, whose contracts are about to expire this month. But despite the calls of the DOH to ramp up active case finding, there are still no plans to hire more contact tracers. Instead, the national government leaves it to the LGUs, whose resources are already dwindling, to ramp up testing and tracing through different strategies. I am Jacob Lazaro and we are One News.
The National Task Force Against COVID-19 agrees that granular lockdowns are the way to go. Task Force spokesperson Resty Padilla says more localized lockdowns will allow the country to balance public health and economic growth. He adds granular lockdowns will help curb the spread of the more infectious Delta variant. This as the virus is kept within households and will not likely pass on to the rest of the community.
Granular lockdowns are the way to go. We are facing a different kind of variant, and this variant is much more infectious than what we had previously. So we have to really weave through this kind of situation that we are in. The granular lockdown is helping much because it is keeping the cases within the communities, within the families, and if we can keep that down, so much better for everyone.
The municipal government of Taita Rizal is calling for additional vaccine supplies as COVID-19 cases in the area rose almost 80% in 3 weeks. Arian Calumbiran reports.
Taytay Rizal, a municipality roughly 40 minutes away from Metro Manila, is seeing an alarming rise in COVID-19 cases. Infections soared 80% in less than 3 weeks. From nearly 70 cases in the first week of August, infections climbed to almost 350. Mayor Joric Gakula tells One News Agenda the situation in Taytay is just as alarming as that of NCR's. He notes Taytay's proximity from the capital may have played a huge role in the rise of cases.
Dito sa amin sa Taytay, since we have a border with Taguig City and Pasig City, and most of the residents here are working in Metro Manila.
Neighboring cities in the 1st District of Rizal are also located near Metro Manila LGUs like Pasig, Taguig, and Quezon City. These 3 cities have been tagged as high-risk areas by the DOH. Just today, Quezon City had the highest number of COVID-19 cases in the entire country. Adding to the fear is Taytay's own population, one of the highest for municipalities in the country.
Most of the people residing in the 1st District of Rizal work in Metro Manila. Nga sila yung everyday nagko-commute, nagtatrabaho sa Metro Manila na exposed sa COVID-19 infection.
Despite the situation, Taytay is not getting the same amount of vaccines as NCR does. Gakula is now appealing to the government to allocate more COVID-19 jabs to the city.
There are days that we don't have vaccines, and we still wait for the supply of the DOH.
Gakula stressed that Taytay is ready to store additional doses. He notes that the LGU has one of the biggest freezer warehouses for COVID vaccines in the entire country. He says this can accommodate up to 25 million doses of any kind of vaccine.
We are very ready. Talagang sabi nga, nandyan na ang freezer, Pfizer na lang ang kulang.
Arian Calumbiran, we are One News.
PhilHealth Chief Dante Gierran became emotional during a House hearing on the state insurer's unpaid claims to hospitals. As lawmakers grilled on issues hounding PhilHealth, he said the unrelenting criticism has been unfair. He said Dr. Jaime Almora of the Philippine Hospitals Association had already called him to apologize for, quote, overreacting to the circular that temporarily suspended claims payments to certain hospitals. Former NBI director hopes that the public would lay off the criticism, saying he has never experienced this during his years with the NBI.
I opened my heart. Bugbog na po kami. No less than yan, si Dr. Almora. Tumawag sa akin. Nagsosorry po sa akin na he was just overreacting, Mr. Chair. Ito sasabihin ko na. Anong ibig sabihin po ng overreacting? Eh, nag-overreact lang pala siya. You see? So it's unfair.
PDP-Laban insists that the Go-Duterte tandem is their official bet for the 2022 elections. That's despite speculations that Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte is their real standard bearer. What exactly is going on with the ruling party? Manny Pacquiao with the story.
There's no bad blood between presidential daughter Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte and her father's longtime aide Senator Bongo.
Kung anong pagmamahal ko sa tatay, ganun din po ang pagmamahal ko sa mga anak. Alam ni Pangulong Duterte yan.
Even the younger Duterte clarified that she holds no grudge against Go. Mayor Sara revealed on Wednesday that her father suggested she support the Go-Duterte ticket or take Senator Go as her vice president. A close friend of hers think this is unlikely.
If you look at it, parang ayaw niya maging running mate si Bongo. Yun lang. Yun ang kita ko.
But Go running for vice president is not even an option, at least for the Kusi faction of PDP-Laban. They are committing to a Go-Duterte tandem in 2022. The question now is, will Senator Bongo eventually agree to run for president? And if he doesn't, what is the party's plan B? Matibag says they will cross the bridge when they get there.
We'll just answer it when it's there. But in the meantime, ang sagot ko dyan, we will go through the process kung ano man yung mangyari. And we'll prepare for any eventuality.
The PDP-Laban camp of Senators Manny Pacquiao and Coco Pimentel earlier said the Go-Duterte plan may just be a smokescreen for the Kusi camp's real standard bearer, Mayor Sara. Matibag says the other PDP-Laban group owes Mayor Sara an apology.
I agree with Mayor Sara Duterte na hindi dapat sinasama yung pangalan.
Political analyst Dean Dumanhit believes Mayor Sara will decide to run for president, but not under PDP-Laban.
She has a strong support base, being the daughter of the president, being the consistent image that can best build on the Duterte legacy, but she will run not under PDP-Laban.
For now, Malacanang says it's better to let pre-election season talks run its course and let the Dutertes iron out their plans for next year.
Delicadeza dictates that only one Duterte will run. So, since only one Duterte will run, and in his perception, the Mayor Sara will not run, then he can run for vice president. But, alam nyo, nothing is final, no, until October. And meanwhile, this is a family matter, no. So, I would hope that the rest of the nation give the father and the daughter breathing space to discuss.
Reporting for News 5, Mean Los Baños, we are One News.
Retirement seems to be far from Manny Pacquiao's mind as he hinted at a rematch with his Cuban tormentor, Ugas. Speaking with The Athletic, Pacquiao described the former Olympian as someone he can beat anytime, anywhere. Pacman said his movements in their last match were just hampered by cramps, which is why he could not evade Ugas' strong punches. Two Filipino para-athletes are set to compete today in the 2020 Tokyo Paralympics. At around 9 a.m., swimmer Ernie Gawilan will compete at the Tokyo Aquatic Center for the men's 200-meter individual medley. While less than an hour after that, Gerald Mangliwan will compete for his first race in the men's 400-meter category, the Olympic Stadium track. And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us again later at 10 a.m. as we monitor the day's biggest stories from sunrise to sundown. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime and anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We're One News.